Hello everyone, my name is Angel11 and today we are taking a look at my Pixar Cars 1 custom damaged racers. Now I've set them up in the order that I've made them, with the very first custom being Revkins and the very last custom being Ernie Gearson. Now then, let's take a closer look at these guys. Let's start off with revkins. Now, the majority of these customs were made using the Egmont cars that were made that came in little magazines. Which is interesting because not too many people know these guys, these little Egmont cars. They were essentially the same thing as the diecast, except they were much smaller and they were made of plastic and lacked a little bit of detail. Aside from that, and they were of course much cheaper. Let's take a look here on the revkins. You can see that I added this little dirt effect on practically all the models. This is a newer thing that I did on Lee because a long time ago. I made him about a year ago now. Only recently did I add this little splotch, this little like mud and stuff on. Well, it's not mud, like dirt. This dirt effect. Now on this one side here, he has some green, red, and some more green paint splashed on his side. Now this was based off the custom Disney dock it has. But I did add a little bit of extra as well. As you can see on the roof of him, I've scratched up the logo quite a bit. And I have also scratched up the side. Now here he is compared to the diecast. Now this is the 2018 version of Lee Revkins. Now funny thing is that this shade of color on the Egmont car is much more accurate than the one on the diecast. As in the China one, at least. That's all mine has like some sort of gap on the exhaust pipe. I have no idea what caused that. I have no idea what's going on there. But you can see that the comparison between the two. And also the teeth are not painted on this Egmont version. Mine was a little sloppily made. The headlights are a bit low. Much lower than they should be. Yeah, that's about it for Lee. Now let's take a look at Dirksen D'Agostino. Now, the story behind this Dirksen, why I have him, was I saw him for sale online and he was pretty cheap and I did not have a regular Dirksen at this point in time. And he was already pretty banged up. He was already chipped up like this and already had this like dirt on the back by gum because he was cheap and such. And later I got another Dirksen right here. This is a real Dirksen, I believe, but I don't know, part of me still thinks it's like a third party one because the expression looks a bit off. And also like the rims, like the little holes here are circles, when on this one you can see that they aren't circles, they're more like rectangular-ish, rectangular type shape on them, which is interesting. Now I actually had to make little stickers for his headlights because they were all chipped off when I got him. I also drew them on. I think I did a pretty decent job actually. Put some acrylic paint on his eyes to change up his expression a little bit. On this side here, and you can also see that I also add in the little dirt detailing on Dirksen. You can see I think I scraped him up a little bit on this side. I'm not sure why I did it exactly, but I definitely used a little marker here to like draw on him. So on the back, and this little dirt on the back, this is actually on him when I bought him already. And I also used a red marker to paint all over this side. And this Dirksen was also based off of the damaged Dirksen that Disney dock it has. Next up is Ruby Easy Oaks. Now, actually, unfortunately, can't compare him to the die-cast one because I don't have him anymore. I sold him because I accidentally ended up rubbing off a chunk of his eye. That didn't look very good. So I'm gonna buy another die-cast Ruby Oaks. And then I can do a comparison of these two. I'm not sure if I will, but oh well. Anyways, this is a kind of like a middle custom. I didn't do them too long ago, like at least half a year ago now, maybe a year ago. I'm not entirely sure. And you can see I painted on some yellow and some red on the hood. I gave him an expression change as well. And on his roof, you can see some orange as well. I didn't scratch it up. I did scratch up this side right here, and then I painted over some green. There's some green on the back and some blue as well. I also scratched up the back side of him, as you can see there. And I also added 2 red splotches on his side and also scratched up this side, along with adding the little dirt decaling. And I also painted up the teeth on this car as well. Okay, and he was also based off of Disney Docket's custom. Next up, let's take a look at Darren Leadfoot. This is one of the newer customs that I've made. On the front here, he doesn't look very different. Well, it's the same in the front. On the hood, you can kind of see this little bit of damage, like this black mark. That's more on the side. That was with a marker, I believe. Yeah, I did that with a marker. On the roof, turned out pretty well, I believe. Let's say it turned out pretty good. Like I scribbled on it with a marker first, and then I painted over it with some black paint. It gave off a really good looking effect. Also used some little marker on this side here. I put a little bit of dirt decaling there. I think this is also dirt decaling or detailing. No, I think that's actually something like more scratching or whatever. From the track, here is compared to the die-cast one. I also added the dirt detailing, but it's a little more subtle on this one. This Darren is actually from my childhood as well, the little Egmont one. So I've had him for quite a while. His teeth aren't painted in either. It's already pre-damaged from being an old car that I had from when I was a little kid. So yeah, it's perfect for this type of customization. And if I do another version of, if I remake the Dinoco's All Mine crash scene again, then I'll definitely use these cars in it. But I'm gonna wait to get a die-cast Ruby Oaks, and then I'll do that. Both that stop motion and that team review. Now next up we have the Chuck Armstrong. Now I actually didn't do a lot of damage on this truck. He was actually, for the most part, he looked like this before I got him. I bought him on the flea market with this little Manny flywheel as well. As you can see, the little kid really practically destroyed these guys, and you can see all this red splotches on him, some residue from a sticker. It went into his eye as well. He scribbled up his windows completely. His spoiler is gone. Just look at that. He's in really poor condition, really. And the only real customization I did was I added the dirt decaling or the dirt detailing on him, and I also painted up his rims to be a dark blue to be more accurate, which is a customization I did on the 155 scale one as well. But I am planning to replace this one because of the chips right here. It's really annoying, to be honest. Just doesn't look good. So yeah. Next up, we have the Manny flywheel. Now, I also didn't do a lot of customization on this one, because, well, there wasn't really much to do, since Disney Docket doesn't not have, or at the very least, it does not have a damaged Manny flywheel, at least to my knowledge. I've never seen him have one. So I didn't really have anything to go off of, because looking at the movie, it's very hard to see him or any damage on him at all. So I got him on the flea market with the truck, and he already looked like this for the most part. It was also like beaten up, like colored in with markers and whatever else more. The only real detailing I did was I painted up. I added the little dirt detailing, which came out pretty good on him, I'd say. Interesting thing is that he's actually the wrong body style, this Egmont version. He's actually the nitrate body style, but I don't know. I think that might be more accurate to the film. I really can't remember. And his rims are also not painted in. And due to him being the wrong body style, you can also see that he doesn't have the right amount of window bars as the die cast. Oops. Also, his rims are the wrong color. This should be gray instead of black. Which is another thing that's wrong on this model. Alright, now on to the last one. This one being Ernie Gearson. This is the newest custom that I made currently. I'd say Ernie and Ruby had the most work done to them. Now, funny story on how I got this Ernie Gearson. I was actually ordering a Cars Free Ernie Gearson with a couple of haulers, but instead they sent me this Ernie Gearson because they didn't have the Cars Free one at the time. He was like sold out. Well, they are from the same person. I was able to get the Cars Free version of Ernie Gearson, thankfully. Now, if you look at the front, you can see I added, kind of sprinkled in the dirt detailing on the front. You can barely see it. You can just see little black spots on there. You can see on the sides going along. The back as well. But it did come out pretty good, the dirt detailing. Now I painted up, I put a big red splotch right here. It looks like it also went onto the tire. And this is also based off the one Disney Docket has. I think I shaved off his spoiler. I'm not entirely sure. I shaved off a lot of metal on many places, like on the back here. That was shaved off on this side. I think I shaved off of this side as well. This was shaved off of this side, and this side was also shaved off of the middle. Another big difference that I made is I changed the expression for him as well. But I put a little piece of sticky paper inside the eye, and then I painted over it. I'd say it turned out pretty well. The colors almost match, just almost. And also his axle is bent, which is like that when I got him. This is actually pretty good. Considering in the film he was like T-boned basically, and was like scampering along pit road if you paid attention to the film. So yeah, it's pretty good. Here we have the regular Ernie. And there you go. So those were all of the Pixar Cars 1 custom damage races that I made. I hope you all enjoyed it. See you all next time. Bye.